The United States has formally removed Sudan from a list of nations that sponsor terrorism. This ends a 27-year period of sanctions that left the North African country out of the international community. It crippled its economy and blocked access to financial aid. Sudanese Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok has hailed the move by the U.S. On social media, the leader of the transitional government declared it the beginning of a new era. The designation of Sudan as a state sponsor of terrorism dates back to the 1990s when Sudan briefly hosted al-Qaeda's leader Osama bin Laden and other wanted militants. All right, let's speak to Dr. Andrews Atta Asamoah, head of Africa Peace and Security Governance Program, Institute for Security Studies, who joins us via Zoom. Thank you, sir, for joining us here on Africa Live. How has Sudan's international isolation affected the country in the past 3 decades?
Thank you very much for having me. It's affected Sudan in many ways. First of all, economically, it has isolated Sudan from the center of interactions with other countries. It's also made it very difficult in many ways for even individuals to transact or even transfer money into Sudan. And so it's impacted Sudan economically in very many ways, particularly because it also prevented Sudan from borrowing when it needs to. So economically, it's been a very major blow to Sudan. And even in terms of Sudan's presence in the international system, you cannot operate so well if you cannot interact freely with a country as important as the United States. So the lifting does make it a very important and major part in Sudan's history.
Well, we've heard of all the negative impacts of the isolation of Sudan from the international community. What's next now that the country has been removed from the U.S. list of state sponsors of terrorism?
It means that now that the Sudanese government is struggling in many ways to stand economically on its feet, it makes it easy for the country to borrow from the international system. For those who want to do business in Sudan to freely transact, for individuals who want to transfer money either in or out of Sudan to freely do that. And it also makes it easy for people like Sudanese people who want to embark on very strategic businesses to do that. So for Sudan, this is one thing that will free the country to be able to interact within the international system as a country that is free to relate with even the major powers.
All right, Dr. Andrews Atta, let's leave it there for now. We appreciate your insights on that subject matter.